In the busy streets of Balogun Market in Lagos, where traders shouted and car horns honked all day long, there lived a man that nobody understood. His name was Mr. Tunde. Every morning, Mr. Tunde arrived in a shiny black car that looked like the ones important people drove. The car was so clean it sparkled like a diamond in the sun. But when he stepped out, he didn't wear fine clothes like rich men do. Instead, he wore simple shirt and trousers, and he carried a small wooden table under his arm. Mr. Tunde would set up his small table by the roadside, right next to Mama Ngozi's fruit stand. Then he would arrange 5 fat turkeys on the table. Just 5. Not 6, not 10. Always 5. Fresh turkey. Sweet turkey. Come and buy. He would call out in a loud, friendly voice. The children who played nearby always wondered about Mr. Tunde. "Why does a man with such a fine car sell only 5 turkeys?" asked little Chitty, a 7-year-old boy who helped his mother sell vegetables. "Maybe the car is not his own," said Chitty's friend Amina, who sold pure water with her aunt. But the strangest thing was this: Mr. Tunde's turkeys were different. When people bought them and took them home to cook, something wonderful happened. The meat was so soft and sweet that even children who never liked turkey would ask for more. Families who ate Mr. Tunde's turkey felt happy all day long. Mothers and fathers stopped quarreling. Brothers and sisters played together without fighting. Soon, everyone wanted to buy Mr. Tunde's turkey. By noon every day, all 5 turkeys would be sold. Then Mr. Tunde would pack his small table, climb into his shiny car, and drive away. Nobody knew where he went. One hot afternoon, when the sun was so bright it hurt your eyes to look up, something strange happened. A big man named Oga Emeka came to the market. Oga Emeka was known as the richest man in that part of Lagos. He owned many houses and drove the biggest car anyone had ever seen. He wore gold chains around his neck and gold rings on his fingers. When he walked, the ground seemed to shake. Oga Emeka stopped in front of Mr. Tunde's table just as Mr. Tunde was selling his last turkey. "You!" Oga Emeka shouted, pointing a fat finger at Mr. Tunde. "I want to buy all your turkeys every day. I will pay you double the price." "No, triple." Mr. Tunde smiled softly and shook his head. "I am sorry, sir. I only sell 5 turkeys a day. No more, no less." Oga Emeka's face turned red with anger. Nobody ever said no to him. "Do you know who I am?" he roared. "I am Oga Emeka. I can buy this whole market if I want." Mr. Tunde kept smiling. "Yes, sir, I know you are a big man, but I can only sell 5 turkeys each day. That is my rule." Oga Emeka was so angry that his gold chains shook. "You are a foolish man. You could be rich, but you choose to stay small." He stomped away to his big car and drove off with a loud noise. The market people gathered around Mr. Tunde. "Why did you say no to Oga Emeka?" asked Mama Ngozi. "He could have made you rich." Mr. Tunde packed his small table slowly. "Some things are more important than money," he said quietly. Then he got into his shiny car and drove away. Little Chitty watched him leave. Something about Mr. Tunde made him curious. Where did this man get his turkeys? Where did he go every day? And why did he only sell 5? The next morning, Chitty woke up very early, even before the roosters crowed. He had made a plan. Today, he would follow Mr. Tunde and discover his secret. Chitty hid behind Mama Ngozi's fruit stand and waited. Soon, the shiny black car arrived. Mr. Tunde stepped out with his small wooden table and 5 fat turkeys. The day went on as usual. People came and bought the turkeys, and by noon, all 5 were gone. When Mr. Tunde packed his table and got into his car, Chitty was ready. He quickly jumped onto the back of a Okada motorcycle taxi that was waiting nearby. "Follow that black car," Chitty whispered to the Okada man, holding out the small money he had saved. The Okada man nodded and started his engine. They followed Mr. Tunde's car through the busy streets of Lagos. They passed tall buildings and small houses. They drove past markets and schools. They went over bridges and through neighborhoods. Finally, the black car turned into a quiet street with big houses and tall gates. Mr. Tunde's car stopped in front of the biggest house Chitty had ever seen. It was like a palace. The gate was made of gold-colored metal, and the house behind it rose up like a mountain with many windows that sparkled in the sun. 2 security men in neat uniforms opened the gate, and Mr. Tunde drove inside. Chitty's mouth fell open. "Mr. Tunde lives here?" he whispered. The Okada man whistled. "That house belongs to one of the richest men in all of Lagos. I have heard stories about him." "What stories?" Chitty asked. "They say the man who lives there used to be the biggest turkey seller in Nigeria. He had many farms and many trucks. But then something happened, and he changed. Now nobody sees him anymore." Chitty thanked the Okada man and walked slowly back home, his mind full of questions. Days passed, but Chitty could not forget what he had seen. Mr. Tunde, the simple turkey seller, lived in a house like a king. But why did he come to the market to sell only 5 turkeys? One evening, Chitty was helping his mother close her vegetable stand when he saw something that made his heart jump. A big black van with no windows stopped near where Mr. Tunde usually sold his turkeys. 3 men in dark clothes came out. They looked left and right like thieves. Then they started asking questions. "Where is the man who sells 5 turkeys here?" one of them asked Mama Ngozi. Mama Ngozi looked worried. "He comes in the morning and leaves at noon. Why do you want him?" "That is not your business," the man said rudely. "When you see him tomorrow, tell him Oga Emeka wants to talk." The men got back in their van and drove away. Chitty felt afraid. Oga Emeka was planning something bad. He had to warn Mr. Tunde. The next morning, Chitty arrived at the market very early and waited. When Mr. Tunde's shiny car arrived, Chitty ran to him. "Mr. Tunde! Mr. Tunde!" Chitty called out, breathing hard. Mr. Tunde smiled at the small boy. "Good morning, young man. Why are you running so fast?" Chitty told him about the men in the black van and Oga Emeka's message. Mr. Tunde's smile faded a little, but he touched Chitty's shoulder gently. "Thank you for telling me, little one. You have a good heart. What is your name?" "My name is Chitty, sir." "Chitty," Mr. Tunde said softly. "That is a good name. It means God exists. Do you know why I sell turkeys here, Chitty?" Chitty shook his head. Mr. Tunde looked up at the sky. "Come, if you want to know the truth, come with me today after I finish selling." At noon, when the last turkey was sold, Chitty climbed into Mr. Tunde's shiny car. His heart was beating fast. He had never been inside such a fine car before. They drove through Lagos until they reached the big house with the golden gate. The security men opened it, and they drove inside. Chitty's eyes grew wide. Inside the compound were gardens with flowers of every color. There was a fountain that sprayed water into the air. Birds sang in the trees. Mr. Tunde led Chitty into the house. Inside was even more beautiful. The floors shone like mirrors. The furniture looked soft and expensive. On the walls hung big pictures. But Mr. Tunde didn't stop to show Chitty these things. He led him through the house to a back door. When he opened it, Chitty saw something that made him gasp. Behind the big house was a large compound with many small houses. And in front of each small house sat people, old men, old women, and many children. Some were eating. Some were playing. Some were sleeping on clean mats in the shade. "Who are all these people?" Chitty asked. Mr. Tunde's eyes became soft and shiny, like he was about to cry. "These are people with nowhere to go. Old people whose children have left them. Children whose parents have died. People who are sick and have nobody to help them. I bring them here to live. I give them food, clothes, and a place to sleep. The children go to school, and the sick ones see doctors." Chitty looked around. There must have been over 100 people there, all living peacefully, all looking happy. "This is where all my money goes," Mr. Tunde continued. "Every day I need money to feed them, to pay for their medicine, to send the children to school. So every morning I go to Balogun Market and sell 5 turkeys. The money I make is exactly what I need for that day." "But sir," Chitty said, confused, "if you are so rich, why don't you just use your money? Why do you sell turkeys every day?" Mr. Tunde sat down on a bench and motioned for Chitty to sit beside him. "Let me tell you my story," Mr. Tunde began. "Many years ago, I was the biggest turkey seller in Nigeria. I had 10 large farms. I had many workers. I had so much money that I built this big house. I wore fine clothes and drove many cars. I was proud and thought I was better than other people. One day, a poor old woman came to me. She was hungry and asked if I could give her one turkey to feed her grandchildren. I looked at her and laughed. "Go away," I told her. "I don't give things for free. If you want turkey, pay for it." The old woman looked at me with sad eyes. "Young man," she said, "money is good, but kindness is better. A day will come when you will remember my words." Then she walked away. I forgot about her and went on with my life. My business grew bigger and bigger. I became richer and richer. Then one day, something terrible happened. A big sickness came to all my turkey farms. In just 2 weeks, all my turkeys died. Every single one. My workers left. My business crashed. I lost everything. I sat in this big house, alone and sad. All my money was gone. All my friends who used to visit me disappeared. I had nothing left. One night I couldn't sleep. I was very sad and very afraid. I walked outside and sat in my garden. Then I remembered the old woman's words. "A day will come when you will remember my words." I started to cry. I realized that when I was rich, I had never helped anybody. I had never shared my blessing. I had been selfish and proud. Right there in the garden, I prayed to God. I said, "If you give me another chance, I promise I will use whatever I have to help others. I will never be selfish again." The next morning, a man knocked on my gate. He was selling baby turkeys. I counted the little money I had left and bought 10 baby turkeys. I kept 5 and sold 5. With the money from those 5 turkeys, I bought food for myself that day. Then I remembered my promise. I bought more baby turkeys, raised them, and started again. But this time I did things differently. I started small. When I had a little extra money, I found a homeless old man and brought him here. I gave him food and a place to stay. Then I found an old woman. Then I found 2 children whose parents had died. Little by little, God blessed me again. My turkey business grew. More people came to live here, but I made a promise to myself. No matter how rich I become, I will never forget where I came from. I will never stop working. I will never stop serving others. That is why every morning I go to Balogun Market. I don't go there because I need to. I go there to remember. I sell 5 turkeys to remind myself that every good thing comes from God, not from my own power. The money I make each day is enough for that day. And when I count it and see how it feeds all these people, I remember to be grateful. Chitty listened with his mouth open. He had never heard such a story. For many days after that, Chitty visited Mr. Tunde's big house. He helped feed the old people and played with the children who lived there. He learned that Mr. Tunde had opened a small school for the children and a clinic for the sick ones. But Chitty had not forgotten about Oga Emeka and his men. One morning, as Mr. Tunde was setting up his small table at Balogun Market, 3 black vans arrived. Oga Emeka stepped out, followed by many men. The market became quiet. Everyone stopped what they were doing to watch. "Mr. Tunde," Oga Emeka said with a fake smile, "I have come with a business proposal. I want to buy your turkey business. I will pay you 10 million naira right now. All you have to do is tell me where you get your turkeys and how you make them so special." Mr. Tunde shook his head calmly. "My turkeys are not for sale, Oga Emeka. And my secret is not something money can buy." Oga Emeka's smile disappeared. "You are making a big mistake. If you don't sell to me, I will make sure nobody in Lagos buys from you again. I will destroy you." Mr. Tunde looked at him with kind eyes. "Oga Emeka, you have money, but you are not happy. You have power, but you are not at peace. What you need cannot be bought in any market." This made Oga Emeka very angry. His face turned red. "You dare to insult me? You, a small turkey seller?" "I am not insulting you," Mr. Tunde said gently. "I am telling you the truth. Real wealth is not in your bank account. Real wealth is in your heart." Oga Emeka raised his hand like he wanted to hit Mr. Tunde. But before he could move, something unexpected happened. Little Chitty ran forward and stood between Oga Emeka and Mr. Tunde. "Don't hurt him," Chitty shouted bravely. even though his legs were shaking. "Mr. Tunde is a good man." Then Mama Ngozi stepped forward too. "The boy is right. Mr. Tunde has never done anything bad to anyone." One by one, other market people came forward. The yam seller, the fish seller, the bread seller, they all stood together between Oga Emeka and Mr. Tunde. "Mr. Tunde is our friend," they said. Oga Emeka looked around. He was surrounded by poor market people who were not afraid of him. This had never happened before. He took a step back. "You will all regret this," he said. Then he and his men got into their vans and drove away. The market people cheered. They lifted Chitty onto their shoulders and praised him for his bravery. Mr. Tunde smiled, but Chitty could see worry in his eyes. That evening, as the market closed, Mr. Tunde called Chitty aside. "Thank you for standing up for me," he said. "But I need to tell you something. Oga Emeka is a dangerous man. He won't forget what happened today. I think it's time for me to stop coming to Balogun Market." "No!" Chitty cried. "If you stop coming, it means Oga Emeka wins." Mr. Tunde touched Chitty's head gently. "Sometimes walking away is not losing. Sometimes it is wisdom." "Tunde," Chitty said, "can I ask you a question?" "Of course. Why does Oga Emeka want your turkey business so badly?" Mr. Tunde thought for a moment. "I think he wants it because he cannot have it. Oga Emeka is used to getting everything he wants with money. When someone says no to him, it drives him crazy." Chitty nodded slowly. "What if we show him something he has never seen before?" "What do you mean?" "What if we invite him to see where his money has never gone? What if we show him your big house and all the people you help? Maybe if he sees that, his heart will change." Mr. Tunde looked surprised. "That is a very wise idea for a small boy. But do you think Oga Emeka will come?" "We can try," Chitty said with a bright smile. The next morning, instead of setting up his table, Mr. Tunde went to Oga Emeka's office in a big building in Victoria Island. The secretary tried to stop him. "Oga Emeka doesn't see people without an appointment." But Mr. Tunde said calmly, "Tell him the turkey seller is here with an answer to his offer." Oga Emeka agreed to see him. "So," Oga Emeka said, sitting in his big leather chair, "you have finally come to your senses. You want to sell?" "No," Mr. Tunde said. "I came to invite you. Come to my house tomorrow at noon. Come and see something. Then you will understand why I can never sell." Oga Emeka frowned. "Why should I come?" "Because," Mr. Tunde said, "you said you want to know my secret. Well, I am ready to show you. But you must come and see it yourself." Oga Emeka was curious now. What could a simple turkey seller want to show him? "Fine," he said. "I will come. But if this is a waste of my time, you will regret it." The next day at noon, 3 big cars arrived at Mr. Tunde's house. Oga Emeka stepped out, wearing an expensive suit and dark sunglasses. He looked around at the big house and the golden gate. He said, "So you have a nice house. So what? I have 10 houses bigger than this." Mr. Tunde smiled. "Please, follow me." He led Oga Emeka through the house to the back door. When they stepped outside, Oga Emeka stopped walking. In front of him was the large compound with all the small houses. Old people were sitting in the shade, chatting happily. Children were playing games and laughing. Some women were cooking together. A man was teaching some children how to read under a tree. "What is this place?" Oga Emeka asked. "This is where I spend all my money," Mr. Tunde said. "These are people who had nowhere else to go. I give them food, shelter, medicine, and education. The money I make from selling 5 turkeys every day is what feeds them for that day." Oga Emeka walked slowly through the compound. An old woman smiled at him and offered him some water. A little girl ran up to him and showed him a drawing she had made in school. "See what I drew," she said happily. "I want to be an artist when I grow up." Oga Emeka took the paper with shaking hands. The little girl had drawn a picture of sunshine and flowers and people holding hands. For the first time in many years, Oga Emeka felt something strange in his chest. His eyes became wet. He turned to Mr. Tunde. "All these people, you take care of all of them?" "Yes," Mr. Tunde said. "This is my real business. This is my real wealth." Oga Emeka was quiet for a long time. Then he said in a soft voice, "I have more money than I can ever spend. I have houses and cars and businesses. But when I go home at night, I am alone. Nobody smiles at me the way these people smile at you. Nobody is happy to see me coming." Mr. Tunde put his hand on Oga Emeka's shoulder. "It is not too late to change. Money is a good servant but a bad master. When you use it to help others, it brings joy. When you keep it only for yourself, it brings loneliness." Oga Emeka looked around at all the happy faces. An old man was laughing with his friends. Children were singing. Everyone looked peaceful and content. "Can you teach me?" Oga Emeka asked quietly. "Can you teach me how to be like you?" Mr. Tunde smiled. "Of course. But first, you must do one thing." "What?" "You must learn to serve. Starting tomorrow, come to Balogun Market. Help me sell my 5 turkeys. Learn what it means to work with your hands. Learn what it means to talk to ordinary people. Learn what it means to be humble." Oga Emeka looked down at his expensive shoes and his gold rings. Then he looked up at Mr. Tunde and nodded. "I will come," he said. The next morning, something unbelievable happened in Balogun Market. Oga Emeka arrived, but not in his big car with his bodyguards. He came in a simple taxi, wearing a plain shirt and trousers. No gold chains, no rings. The market people couldn't believe their eyes. Mr. Tunde was already setting up his small table. When he saw Oga Emeka, he smiled. "Welcome," he said. "Are you ready to work?" Oga Emeka nodded. All morning, Oga Emeka helped Mr. Tunde sell turkeys. First, he didn't know what to do. He had never sold anything in his life. He had always been the buyer, the boss, the rich man. But Mr. Tunde taught him patiently. Call out to people with a friendly voice. Smile at them. Treat everyone with respect, whether they are rich or poor. Little Chitty came to help too. He showed Oga Emeka how to wrap the turkeys nicely and how to give customers their change. By noon, all 5 turkeys were sold. Oga Emeka was sweating and tired. His back hurt from standing. His throat was sore from calling out to customers. But something amazing had happened. For the first time in years, Oga Emeka felt happy, really happy. Not the fake happiness that money brought, but real joy that came from doing honest work and helping others. "How do you feel?" Mr. Tunde asked. "I feel alive," Oga Emeka said, surprised at his own words. "I feel like I matter, not because of my money, but because I did something good with my own hands." Mr. Tunde nodded. "That is the secret I promised to show you. Real wealth is not what you have. Real wealth is what you give. Real wealth is not in your pocket. Real wealth is in your heart." From that day on, Oga Emeka changed. He started coming to Balogun Market every morning to help Mr. Tunde. He used his business skills to help Mr. Tunde's work grow bigger. Together, they opened more homes for people who needed help. They built schools for poor children. They opened clinics where sick people could get medicine for free. Oga Emeka sold some of his 10 big houses and used the money to help others. He discovered that the more he gave away, the happier he became. 1 year later, something wonderful happened. The governor of Lagos heard about Mr. Tunde and Oga Emeka's work. He came to visit them and was so impressed that he decided to give them an award. On the day of the award ceremony, Balogun Market was closed. All the market people were invited to the big government house. Chitty and his mother were there. Mama Ngozi was there. Even the Okada man who had helped Chitty follow Mr. Tunde was invited. When it was time for Mr. Tunde to receive his award, he did something unexpected. He called Chitty to the stage. "This young boy taught me an important lesson," Mr. Tunde said, his voice echoing through the microphone. "He taught me that courage is not about how big you are or how much money you have. Courage is about standing up for what is right, even when you are afraid." Then Oga Emeka spoke. "I was a man with everything but nothing. I had money but no joy. I had power but no peace. Then this humble turkey seller showed me the truth. The best things in life are not things. The best things in life are the people we help and the love we share." Everyone clapped and cheered. After the ceremony, Chitty asked Mr. Tunde, "Why do you still sell only 5 turkeys every day? Now that Oga Emeka is helping you, you could sell more." Mr. Tunde knelt down to look Chitty in the eyes. "Because 5 turkeys remind me of 5 important things: faith, hope, love, humility, and gratitude. Every morning when I count out 5 turkeys, I remember these 5 things. They keep me grounded. They remind me never to become proud again." Chitty smiled. "I understand now. You are not really selling turkeys. You are selling something much more valuable." "What is that?" Mr. Tunde asked. "You are selling lessons," Chitty said. "Every person who buys your turkey gets more than just good meat. They get kindness. They get hope. They get a reminder that good people still exist in this world." Mr. Tunde's eyes became shiny with tears. He hugged Chitty tight. "You are a very wise young boy. Promise me something." "What?" "Promise me that when you grow up, you will remember this lesson. Success is not about how much you have. Success is about how much you give. Will you promise?" "I promise," Chitty said. Many years passed. Chitty grew up and went to university. He became a teacher. He never forgot the lessons he learned from Mr. Tunde. Mr. Tunde continued to go to Balogun Market every morning until he became very old. Even when his legs were weak and he needed a walking stick, he still went to sell his 5 turkeys. Oga Emeka became a different person completely. He gave away most of his wealth to help others. People who used to fear him now loved him. Children who used to run away from him now ran to him with smiles. The big house with the golden gate became known throughout Lagos as the House of Hope. Hundreds of people lived there, finding shelter, food, education, and love. And in Balogun Market, on a small wooden table by the roadside, you can still see 5 fat turkeys every morning, waiting to teach anyone who stops to buy one the most important lesson of all. True wealth is not measured by what you have in your bank account, but by what you have in your heart. The richest person is not the one who has the most, but the one who gives the most. Asterisk asterisk. Dear children, this story teaches us many things. 1. Being rich in money doesn't make you rich in happiness. Asterisk asterisk. Mr. Tunde had a big house, but his joy came from helping others, not from owning things. 2. Kindness is more powerful than money. Asterisk asterisk. When Mr. Tunde was kind to others, he changed people's lives, including Oga Emeka's. 3. Never be too proud. Asterisk asterisk. When Mr. Tunde was proud and refused to help the old woman, he lost everything. When he became humble, he gained everything that truly mattered. For even children can make a difference. Asterisk asterisk. Little Chitty was brave and stood up for what was right. His courage helped change Oga Emeka's heart. 5. It's never too late to change. Asterisk asterisk. Oga Emeka was not a good person at first, but he learned to become better. Anyone can change if they truly want to. 6. The best things in life are not things. Asterisk asterisk. Love, friendship, kindness, and helping others. These are what make life beautiful. Remember, God gives us blessings not to keep for ourselves, but to share with others. When we share our blessings, they multiply and bring joy to everyone. Thank you for reading this folktale from the heart of Lagos, Nigeria. Share this story with your friends and family so they too can learn these important lessons. Remember to always be kind, always be humble, and always be grateful for what you have. Asterisk asterisk. May your heart be as rich as Mr. Tunde's, and may you always remember that the greatest wealth is the wealth you give away.